The Square Ball Podcast.
Welcome to the show. It's brought to you with Levi Solicitors. 10% discount on your legal fees is available at levisolicitors.co.uk/the Square Ball. Down here, Michael's there and Moscow is there as well. Part 3 of the show, we'll pick the week's heroes and villains. First, the Ken Bates Villain of the Week award. Somebody who's made us miserable, just like Ken Bates did for many a year. Obviously, having played Man United this week, there's going to be a lot of scum-based
all of them
nominees. We've got nominations in from our TSB Plus members as well here to filter through. So, who's got lots?
I mean, it should probably handle. They're not going to read some of these out in full because
is it libelous
because
of swearing? Because
of some of the things that have been alleged. You can use the internet. There are several people who picked up on Ronaldo's.
Yeah, we can't say that.
Past. Just Google that one if you really want to.
Can't say that.
On weight of nominations, McTominay, who we probably do need to discuss.
Yeah, we can't say that one either.
We can discuss his face.
Mm-hmm.
Because
it's a scum face.
It is. It's absolute classic scum face.
I was discussing this on a WhatsApp group the other day, people with scum faces. Do you remember, he never did like much for them after an initial few goals, but do you remember Makeda, who played for Scum? He had a real strong scum face. He was like a badly made Ronaldo in the way he kind of looked. I feel like he should have had a better career there due to his scum face. But McTominay's doing all right there. Mm-hmm. And just everyone essentially making the same point that he should have been sent off for, well, about a dozen fouls that he seemed to get away with, at least 3 or 4 of which were yellow card offences.
There's lots of C-bombs on this sheet. I'm just having a look through some of the nominations. Quite a lot of pricks. The word nasty, whopper is used for fans of the burger. Bastards. I'll stop swearing just because we don't want to get... and Just Jake, for example, talking about Craig Pawson. Was Pawson the VAR?
I've no idea. I don't know if he's got it wrong.
Did he mean McTurney?
To be perfectly honest, because it was definitely Partini who was the ref.
But he's called him C-Bommy McC-Bomb.
Okay. It's brought the worst out of people, I think, because this game. People have been...
Not sensing a lot of love, to be honest.
People have been angry.
I mean, the one on Cork, Bielsa said this morning that it's fine. He was cool with it. Said, have another go if you want. But the one on Joffy, that I think is the one he finally got booked for, horrible bloody tackle. And then it's moments after that he goes in on Firpo, and I highlighted this on the match ball, but I will reiterate it now we're on this. After he goes in on Firpo, the speed with which Tierney books Rafinha for descent, he's barely got a word out. And he immediately just points, like there's a big crowd of players pointing at him, yellow card for just coming over here. And set against all the things that all their players have been doing all game, it was just, how did you get your card out that quickly for this and not for any of that? And the other side of Luke Shaw making it so late into the game without a yellow card meant that when Firpo went through Ilanga, he was completely at leisure to come running over. He'd not been booked yet, so we can get into Firpo's face. And Firpo was booked essentially for being shouted at by Luke Shaw. Shaw got a booking as well. If he'd had a booking for one of the tackles that he should have been booked for, he wouldn't have been able to come over and start that big brawl for what was a very good tackle that was given as a throw-in. And then I think Firpo only got the yellow card because of his reaction to Luke Shaw sprinting across and shoving him.
And also the one
Cheats.
The one that Bielsa was saying was fine with the injured Cog. I don't think that is fine.
No,
he absolutely sees that he's passing the ball off and he uses it as it's a cheap shot. He has it essentially.
It's leaving your body in.
I don't think he means to cut his head, but I think he means to give him a decent knock.
Talking about intent.
Yeah,
I was going to say that seems to have been the mitigation for it. No intent to injure was the reason why some of these weren't booked, but that's not the point, is it?
I mean, Bielsa actually meant this is about as near as Bielsa has come to criticising a referee. Actually, in the press conference today, he was saying that Pascal was sent off for something with no intent, and this was the same essentially. But we know we had to suffer a red card for that. Which and the Strauch one, he very, very cleanly wins the ball as well. And it's a tackle, whereas this is nothing. This is just running into someone.
People think you've been swivel-eyed lunatics when you start talking about this stuff and saying, like, some of the reasons why they didn't get booked is because of the shirt they're wearing. It really is. I mean, it is. I think the refs are kind of intimidated. Maybe it's on a subconscious level, but they don't want to be seen to be sending off or having a negative impact on some of the so-called bigger clubs like the Big Six clubs. I think it's a real thing.
Well, it's the other thing about the speed with which Rafinha was booked for his descent is, I mean, I saw Pogba in particular after Rodrigo had kicked the ball away, marching over to the referee, saying, "He's just kicked the ball over there. You need to start. You need to do something."
He was wagging his finger, wasn't he? Yeah.
And you had it from Ronaldo in his face all game. Fernandes never gives up. None of them got booked. But then Rafinha, one word, white shirt, yellow card. And on the McTominay one on Cork, he's tried it because it's the start of the game, first 5 minutes, let him know I'm there kind of thing. And if the referee had given him a yellow card, it changes the rest of the match. And we kind of praised him for wanting to let some of it go. And he did, in terms of tackle for tackle, letting a lot of things go was good. Reading the conditions right. This is a hard game, tough game. Everything's cool. But at the same time, he ended up with 9 yellow cards. So his tactic of, if I let all this go, the game will flow and there won't be too many bookings in this, didn't work, because he ended up just flashing yellow cards around at everybody because he didn't keep a lid on it. And if you can do both. You can get a yellow card for Scott McTominay on that one and say, nope, that's a line you're not crossing in this game, and then let the tackles happen that are actually fair legal tackles. It's just... But let's just nominate him for villain.
JV called it right on the feedback form, actually, saying he had substitute teacher vibes the entire game. Started out trying to be too pally and hip, but quickly lost all respect and control by the end of it. And he did. He got to the last few minutes and he was like, right, I'm just going to start. I can start booking people now because I probably won't have to send anyone off.
Yeah.
And the consistency across the game was entirely lost by that point, because things that were a yellow card in the last 10 minutes had not been a yellow card for the other 80, and it makes the complete shambles of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so there's loads of nominations for him, loads of nominations for just Man United. I mean, I think it's probably best summarised by Will. Well, Will says Scum as a club, just in general, just carpet bomb the whole fucking lot, which is one option. Complaining
about the ref as well. The downside of these being on YouTube now and it being Man United, you'll get people who are not Leeds fans watching this and leaving comments. Don't leave a comment. It's not for you.
And also, I don't care. Do you know what I'll do with those comments? I'll ignore them all. I might even delete some because we can, because it's our YouTube channel. It's in our gift.
Yeah, it's a weird thing that happens now. Yeah.
Honestly, don't care about your opinion or your Ronaldo avatar or whatever. Go away.
This is purely for Leeds fans.
This is for Leeds fans and it's biased. Yeah, for Leeds fans. Very clearly biased for Leeds fans. Scum bastards. Right.
Well, we're on it. Maguire as well. Jelly says, showing his name to home fans like we don't recognise the club-footed, erratic potato painting level of football intelligence, and seasons have been terrible. And when you've got Easter Island on top of your neck, you should probably score every corner, not 1 in 140. Arrogant scum bastard. That seems fairly comprehensive.
Yeah, and fair.
I also enjoy, there doesn't seem to be a name on this one, but Fred... Get a proper Brazilian name. You're clearly from Bolton. That was,
It's like Alan at Everton as well.
I mean, most of what Clarky Boy's put here under his Ronaldo nomination, I can't say for legal reasons. But, I can't say that one. Hang on. But he does pick out something else that's not related to Ronaldo. He said the linesman as well for flagging James offside on a marginal in the first half, but can't say that allegation, carry on playing until he finally missed in the second half before putting his flag up. Yeah.
I think he did it twice, didn't he? He let obvious offsides go for ages, and then he was like,
But there was one of them where I actually saw him move his arm reflexively and then put it back down again. He realised, and this is the problem that they've given the linesmen. I don't ever want to defend them because they're all awful people for even wanting to do the job, and they do it badly, all of them. Was that they must have that moment's doubt. Am I allowed to put my flag up? And then you've taken your eye off the game. You're not concentrating. You're second guessing yourself. If it's offside, just put your flag up. Well, you did it against James in the first half, didn't you? As soon as he went, flag up.
It's if they score from this and I've put my flag up, then will have missed a goal. But then if they go on and I don't put my flag up and they get a corner from it and he was offside, but I wasn't sure enough, then they can have a corner and then the corner isn't taken back and it's
the bin.
Yeah, they've made a difficult job,
even harder,
almost impossible with some of the rules they've kind of inflicted upon them. And also, if we're on making the officials' jobs difficult, Fernandes gets several. I wish this microphone was a penis. This one here. I wish that person would change their name, to be honest. But
you could change it if you want. We don't have to read it out.
Barry says that's what I'll call him from now on. It's looking like a sloth as well. He gets nominated for.
You could just call him microphone. That'd be easier.
Okay, fair enough.
Mikey P.
Pudsey Bod for acting like Bruno Fernandes. We know what you're getting with him, don't you?
Yeah, he's a dreadful man, and I think Rafinha should keep better company. Quite frankly,
Well, we liked one of his
Instagram
posts about it, didn't he? Which caused some.
I mean, I can't get mad about that. If their mate's fine, they live in an industry. I mean, he's not going to be at Leeds forever. None of them are. Don't love anything. Just don't fall in love. That's what we're saying. It'll only end in misery.
Stuart Dallas, he's someone you can fall in love with.
He is. He's a wholesome boy, isn't he? He is a wholesome boy. Scum parents and kids. That's are we getting into the children now?
It's quite a niche one, is this, from Miserable Day, for the characters in the local pub who let their feral little scum bastard children run around screaming Sue during before and after the game. Yeah, fair enough. Don't let your kids do that.
At least we didn't have to enjoy that. I mean, thanks to Mellier's save, we didn't. Imagine that twat doing that in front of the. Anyway, we get a mention, quite apart from all the obvious ones. Christine suggests that we consume far too much sugar during the shows, and actually it's not correct. Well, no, every single drink we have is sugar free. Yeah.
It's true. They're full of.
We're absolutely
full of lethal chemicals.
Lethal chemical, full of caffeine.
I should say on the behalf of the Coca-Cola company, they're not lethal chemicals. No. They're perfectly safe artificial sweeteners.
Yeah, full of non-lethal chemicals.
that was a joke. Yeah.
In fairness, there's probably about 1 billion YouTube videos saying that Coca-Cola are poisoning people. So
which they're not.
Which I think is delicious.
But we're just hyped up on caffeine, that's all.
That's the one.
We didn't even realise there's caffeine in the Iron Brew Extra, which is an interesting slant. So, this is 7-Up free, no sugar in that. We're trying to look after ourselves as best we can, as you can probably tell. So, don't worry, Christine, but thank you for your concern. The pitch gets picked out as well for it being wet. But, I mean, that's more to do with Mother Nature, wasn't it, than the pitch itself? Because they are designed. I remember when I got in that pitch wormhole at the start of the season when we were having it relayed, that it can handle a tremendous amount of water. Like it's something daft, like 50 litres per foot per minute or something stupid. I don't know, but it's a lot.
I mean, that sounds like a real lot. But
but when it keeps pissing out of the sky at the rate it did on Sunday, it still needs to go somewhere, doesn't it? It's a lot of rain that it was having to handle.
I mean, it would have been called off on last year's pitch, which would have been better.
Yeah.
So who knows?
Right. Llorente gets a nomination by Mikey P. Pascal's hair tie from Sean as well, because his beautiful hair came down. That was quite a distraction, to be fair, suggesting it took away his powers. Because was it Samson, the biblical character, who had his hair cut and lost his powers, or he's one of the gods or whatever?
Yeah, so that's it's the opposite of what happened here. Is Pascal's hair came loose, but it's 2 games in a row that we've seen his mane at its fullest, and I, for one, am in favour of it. I mean, it used to be Brian Kilcline didn't used to wear a hairband, did he?
Another Gen Z reference there for you. But 80s footballer Brian Kilcline, have a look at him.
I saw him playing for Halifax Town well into the 90s, I'll have you know. So,
but it's
a modern reference.
I would love to see Ayling and Struijk just lining up with the hair out and play the game, just 90 minutes with the hair everywhere. Because when you go for do you remember the whole new ball game advert that launched the Premier League? It launched with somebody jumping in the air, Paul Walsh style. It wasn't him, but it was very reminiscent, and heading it looks like a big long just a goalkeeper clearance, heading it on with their hair zooming out behind them, and it looks magnificent. And I don't know why players hide these beautiful
so Sky can have a nomination for not. They should have captured Pascal in super slow mo. The really high frame rate, and then slowed it really down.
Yeah, good at it as he's giving the ball to Fernandes for the 4th goal. Right.
Yes. Let's pick a villain of the week then, please.
How do we pin it down to just one?
I mean, McTominay and the ref are essentially one and the same, aren't they? Because you can't almost blame McTominay for continuing to kick people when you realise you can get away with it. You'd be like, this is perfect. I've unlocked some sort of secret code. I can do anything I want.
Like there's people, I've seen those feeders, people who actively feed people up because they've got a kink for the larger person. It's almost like that. There's an enabler there.
Okay, it's not where I'd have gone with it, but have you been watching some of that recently?
No.
Okay. Well, you're looking lovely. That's what I'll say.
Thank you, Michael.
And I think just keep going with it. Keep going with the cakes.
We've got an enabler on there, and that was Tierney. Was it the ref? Was it Fernandes? A lot to go at, yeah.
The thing with Fernandes is he's acting completely in accord with just who he is. So it's difficult to kind of pick him out just for this game. It's just, he was Bruno Fernandes, and that's enough for me to want him to be harmed, not quite to the extent that Michael discussed earlier, but somewhere along the lines. But then is it fair then to nominate him as a villain of the week when it's basically his entire life that we are, dealing with?
Well, McTominay and the ref do share a very similar number of nominations on the sheet, and they do carry the weight of nominations, which is always a good indicator of where this one should go.
I think as a pair, they should have it.
Yeah,
that was Matt W's suggestion, actually. They should just be united by a backslash.
Where is Paul Tierney from? He's from Lancashire somewhere, isn't he? Is it Scott? It's where's Scott McTominay from?
Arsenal fan now, aren't you?
I think Scott McTominay is Scottish.
Right.
Although whether he's proper Scottish, I've not done enough research.
Well, let's assume, because that's the best way to deal with.
I don't know if he's Liam Cooper Scottish.
I was just going to say, is Paul Tierney Uncle Paul to McTominay? That's all I was going to ask. He's just trying to look out for his nephew or whatever. Even if it's an informal uncle, like when you lived locally, like 3 doors down, you'd have like Auntie Bev or whatever. She wasn't your real auntie.
Yeah, Scott McTominay, born in Lancaster. Scumface.
Right. Perfect. Explains it all. So are they having it then? The McTominay Tierney axis of evil?
Why not?
Fine. Right. Let's pick a hero of the week. Then the Gaetano Berardi hero of the week. And speaking of Berardi, do go and watch / listen to our special interview with him that went out just before the Man United game. Nice chap, getting on well in Switzerland. Played a full 90 at the weekend, didn't he? And didn't get sent off or booked in a game where there was a red card, I think, for his team.
There was one for one of his teammates, and his manager got sent off right at the start of the game as well. So Berardi got a booking just before half time. Not sure for what, probably an injustice. He didn't deserve it. He never does. But he managed to keep his head while all around him were losing theirs, and got a 1-1 draw for Sion against FC Zurich, which is a good result if you're down to 10 players and your manager's been sent off.
Good.
He's keeping everybody sane amid the violence. Good old Tano.
And Liam has said he did watch the interview and he did imagine in his own head Berardi splitting one of those scum bastards in half, as he describes it.
Why stop at 1?
At 4-2, it would have been worth the sport to bring him on, wouldn't it? Just to calm things down.
Even if it's such a vicious assault that you get banned for the rest of your career, it's worth going out on a high, isn't it?
Well, like Zidane, final game, he's going to headbutt someone. What are they going to do?
You banned me. Bothered. We were arresting you then, Zinedine. So what? Anyway, get sidetracked. Forshaw gets nominations. Click gets nominations. Rodrigo gets nominations. Rafinha does. So does Dan James.
I enjoy Rich nominating Forshaw for sliding around like a child. Was our best player, though. He does also say.
There's also nominations for Pablo Hernandez, Ilham Meslier, Junior Firpo. And I raised this in the...
Chris Wood for meowing at Kurt Zouma as well. Feels like an outsider.
I'll come to that. But I raised this on the match ball. And Michael, you brought these forward from the sheet. Did nobody nominate Joffy?
I don't think they did.
It's been month after month of everybody tearing their eyes out because Gelhardt can't get in the team. He comes on. He's brilliant. He's part of the fight back to get us back to 2-2 against our mortal enemy. And nobody gives a toss.
Didn't score, did he? Useless bastard. Play Eddie Nketiah.
It's so... It's
but you don't have to.
Unbelievable to me.
No, it's not. It's not. He came on and he was good, but
then rubbish.
But then everyone would have gone, well, we knew he was good, so that's what we expected. But there were bigger things going on around him, such as the refereeing injustices and 24 seconds of madness and so on.
But then how come everybody else? I mean, Meslier conceded 4 and he gets a nomination.
And he was at fault for 2 of them.
Exactly. And nobody's not even got a good word to say about him. He's probably, I mean... You worry about what people, Tyler Roberts in particular, might think about what people are saying about him on the internet. But now we've got to go and look after Joffy. It's like, I'm sorry that nobody thinks you played well. You did very well, Joe. If you Joseph, as I know you prefer to call yourself on the Christmas video with Charlie Creso, you played very well, and I hope you get in the team more often from now on. I alone will stick up for you against all these people who apparently now hate Joffy Gelhardt.
Speaking of Tyler Roberts, I need to dob one of my mates in who gives Tyler Roberts no end of abuse on a WhatsApp group. Happened to be in the same curry house as him on the weekend. Ended up buying Tyler Roberts' curry for him. A man who probably earns 20 grand a week. He paid £90 for his curry. And I think that of his mates that he was with as well. And I woke up the next morning to find a receipt and was like, why have I bought Tyler Roberts a curry?
There's my hero of the week.
Does he remember their interaction?
Not massively, no.
I've got a feeling Tyler probably does.
That's my favourite thing that's happened.
I mean, you shouldn't take money off someone for buying you a curry, should you?
If you march up to the pay desk and say,
it may have just been the quickest way to get him to fuck off, in fairness, which is understandable. Like, if you, fine.
But now here we've got to the point where people are buying Tyler Roberts a curry anywhere he goes, and Joffy is probably reverting to type, trying to find a rat in a bin just to feed himself from morning to night, because nobody will even give him a bio, just cuff him round the ear as he goes past. Rubbish.
So anyway, that's Tyler Roberts.
I think that's marvelous. That is really. I think that's trumps just about anything. Is that the spinelessness of the football fan who will anonymously slag off a footballer,
but to his face, oh, you're great, you.
But when he's there,
can I buy your curry, Mr. Roberts?
Oh, well done.
On the reason Chris Wood is here, he's apparently the story goes that he was meowing at Kurt Zuma during Newcastle versus West Ham, which, if it's true, it's fantastic. A sense of humour that I never thought Chris Wood would be capable of displaying, and it turns out probably he didn't. But what I love about it and why I would like to continue the nomination is because the various Newcastle fan sites, the Mag and the Geordie Boot Boys, they seem to have got themselves into this utter world where anything mentioned about Newcastle, whether it's the ownership or whether it's the idea that their striker might have good-humouredly or hilariously meowed at an animal abuser. If you believe the internet, Chris Wood meowed at Kurt Zuma. The story went viral, so much so that it's now being reported as news. This story has not been verified by anyone reputable. It originated from an alleged in-the-know account that regularly gets things wrong about Newcastle United. Perhaps he's in on the joke, but this made-up story is catching the nations.
I mean, we do know how the Saudis hate inaccurate reporting, don't we, by journalists?
This is it. The claim about Wood is pure
Have you seen that
fiction.
That tweet that's doing the rounds today? Because I think it's like the Saudi National Day or something like that, and the Forelock tuggers are saying, "Oh, we should celebrate Saudi National Day. Post this in your avatar." Fuck off.
The headline.
Come off it.
The headline in the mag is Kurt Zuma, Chris Wood, Craig Dawson, Meowgate, the truth. And
is this where we are now?
Yes.
It's good that
they're so angry about it.
It's good that they're having a hard-hitting investigation into this, whereas the Saudi stuff, they're like, seems probably fine. Seems like a great bunch of lads.
It looks, you could almost take everything that they've been saying about their ownership and just copy and paste and put in Meowgate instead, which is what they're calling it. Not a single one of them quotes the source of where they originally got the story. There's a very good reason for that. Very predictably, there is no credible source, certainly from what I have found, having looked and looked. Literally, it appears that somebody has simply made it up. I just made it up, with what then seems a never-ending stream of people ready and willing to repeat it.
I'd want it to be true.
Exactly. I don't understand why they're so angry about it. It's like, it's funny, but maybe it happened, maybe it didn't. It would be the best thing Chris Wood's ever done if it happened. It would be fantastic.
I guess if you start crawling out cruelty to animals, it's a slippery slope, and before you know it, you have to start defending cruelty to humans, and then it's into criticising the ownership.
But Chris Wood did not repeatedly shout meow at Kurt Zuma during the match. Craig Dawson did not go and complain about it to referee Chris Kavanagh at half-time. None of it happened, unless, of course, you can prove it to me otherwise. You know, like a proper first-hand report where somebody such as the referee or one of the players is actually spoken to and confirms it. We want the truth, but journalists especially should be taking some notice of it. Brackets, the truth. It's just...
I thought they wanted journalists to keep their nose out of Newcastle's business.
Yeah.
Well, what they actually want is somebody to, pin Chris Wood against the door. Did you meow at him? Did you?
I've got the bone saw here. Did you? Twat.
So that's Chris Wood gets a nomination for definitely, absolutely, I believe it happened, meowing at Kurt Zuma for 94 minutes of the game in a New Zealand accent.
Have we mentioned Dan James yet?
Little scum bastard. Lots of people describe it as a little scum bastard.
Dan James, the little scum bastard. He never stops.
He got an assist. Gouldy sent the little scum bastard for his clear and obvious joy after assisting for his equaliser against his long-forgotten former club. Yeah, well done.
The little scum bastard does not stop running. Dan James, little scum bastard, looked threatening all game, deserved a goal, much more dangerous on the wing. And kind of linked to Dan James, Ronaldo gets one as well for...
Don't say what it says on the paper, please.
Scum bastard, that's fine.
Oh, no, the bit after that, where he describes the little scum bastard as being better value than the Portuguese, and we'll leave it there.
Okay, yeah.
Footballer.
Footballer. Yeah, but I mean, them paying him whatever it is,
£500,000
£500,000 a week meant they had to sell us Dan James.
Yeah.
And
a knockdown price, quite frankly.
it was a fair price.
Whether we overpaid for Dan James or not, I don't care. He's great. What more do you want from a winger?
Yeah.
I am
United,
starting to really like the little scum bastard.
flying into tackles. That's a Leeds winger all over.
Lionel Richie's been in touch, of all people. I didn't realise he was a TSB Plus member, but thank you, Lionel. He says, Dan James, the little scum bastard, never stopped running all night long, some might say.
Oh, that's very good.
Thank you. I think it was a really obvious joke, to be fair, but
yeah, probably
shoehorned it in there. Bielsa for trolling Leeds fans. Benched Rafinha.
This is a hero award.
Yeah, not feeling it. Crowd. Yeah, it was fine, wasn't it? Good. Nice edge to it.
Storm Eunice has had nominations after the villain nomination, so there is the other side of that. There's the mention for Paddy Miller and Chicago Town for sorting out lots and lots of pizzas for Leeds Foodbank, one of those peculiar things that happens on the internet sometimes, where a social media manager at Chicago Town is probably in trouble for costing them money with thousands and thousands of pizza, but everybody seemed happy with the
probably about 10 quid's worth of stock has gone there.
The result, but no, that was great effort, and Paddy's kind of absolute just. There never seemed to be any question that he's going to have a single one of these pizzas. No, give them all to me and I'm giving them away, which is perfect.
I think they should give him an additional 1,000 and make him eat them all.
Just like in the film Cool Hand Luke with the eggs.
Exactly.
You've got to shovel egg after egg. You're going
to have pizza. 2 or 3 a day for the rest of the year and see how you get on.
But was it Morgan Spurlock who did the McDonald's one of that?
Supersize Me.
Yeah, anyway. That 24 seconds gets a nomination by a couple of people. The concept of time Marvin enjoyed, and Ryan has extended it out into a full minute, that 1 minute period where our goals were scored. I did say over was it on propaganda that, like, in years to come, assuming we don't go down this season, hopefully we don't, I'll remember that half a minute for a long time.
I sort of will, and I won't. It falls into the category of.
I know it feels a bit Derby playoff semi-final, doesn't it?
And also,
but I did enjoy it. At
and
the
like
time.
the sort of playoff games as well, you know, where you celebrate him and you sort of think, yeah, that was a great moment,
but
ultimately Howson at Carlisle, yeah, brilliant, but what did we do? We went to play Doncaster and didn't turn up.
Yeah, but all these years later, I still remember being on that terrace at Carlisle and nearly dying.
Is there not a bit of you that goes,
football, I mean, as much as we poke fun at Derby for like the way that they harp on about the playoff semi-final, football is about moments, isn't it? And it's the moments that you remember.
You've got to remember, I don't allow myself to enjoy very much.
Becchio well placed, even that game, it wasn't even about like going to a final and losing. We lost the game that Becchio scored that goal in. It's still a great example of what Elland Road can be like, and I think that's where
Bryn Law enjoyed it. Did you hear that?
Sunday comes to. I've not listened to it yet, but it's where Sunday fits into that category as well of like that's what it can be like, and that's why you cling to those moments regardless of the result. Can anywhere else be like that? Even if Brentford, we always pick on Brentford, had scored 2 goals in 24 seconds at their new stadium or even their old stadium, is it going to be like that?
So nothing in life really is like football, is it? Because obviously when you talk about the happiest moments of your life, kids being born, that marriage, that sort of stuff, the kind of big stuff, they are good, but like when your kid's born, you don't like grab the nurse and start shaking her about. Yeah, like yes, it's a boy.
Did you not?
You don't get to do that. You've got to be dignified and adult about stuff.
And I haven't been back on that maternity ward since because the judge won't let me.
So, like those are good moments, but they're not.
Football delivers
them. They're not explosively mad in the same way.
Football delivers them all the time, doesn't it? No, not all the time, but you know, at least a couple of times a season, you can have a moment of pandemonium, no matter what happens in the season.
But it's just more embarrassing to say what are the best moments of your life, and saying Jermaine Beckford scoring against Bristol Rovers is not an acceptable answer.
Yeah, it depends who you. I mean, that's the thing. One of the things that stops people from enjoying themselves enough is because with these 2 goals against Scum, the counter argument is that like, oh, it's tin pot because we lost the game, and because Scum fans who were probably watching it on YouTube, they'll be going, ha ha, but we won. I don't care what they think. So why would I let them deny me the enjoyment of that moment? Like, it's completely irrelevant to me how I appear in the eyes of people who cheer Ronaldo. So I'll just enjoy our goals.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And being a Leeds fan.
And it was a truly brilliant moment, and it is something I will remember in years to come. In the same way, what I was going to say was what I remember about Howson scoring at Carlisle is that moment. I don't remember the Wembley trip anywhere near as vividly as that moment, because that was the fun bit. And you do remember the fun moments, don't you?
And there's a moment as well. We didn't get to experience any of last season, did we? Not properly. It was the TV programme last year, wasn't it? And it was good at times. We had some fun watching it, like watching us Dick Newcastle and West Brom and stuff. It was really good fun, but it wasn't that, was it? It wasn't that moment of like something that really gets your heart pumping and makes you feel like you're about to pass out. And I think that's what the actual joy is in going to football.
And it carries through as well, because people who weren't there because they either live abroad or they can't get to a game or they can't afford a ticket, the fact that there are people there changes the enjoyment of people at home enjoying it. They do get to join in on those moments in a way that if there's nobody there and everybody's watching it from behind closed doors, there's nothing really to feel a part of. Whereas whether you're inside that stadium or not, if you were watching that and you're a Leeds fan, you were completely united in the whole part of the thing. And
it was a common experience, wasn't it?
And it's not something that you get. I don't know. I mean, I can't put myself into the head of like a what are they called, the Korean boy band,
BTS.
I can't put myself into the head of a BTS fan and know that whether like you would shriek through one of their concerts if you're watching it on a live stream as much as you would if you were in the room watching them. But certainly for what I've experienced in my life, nothing but football gives you any of that. Maybe I should try liking BTS because I don't think they're getting relegated.
Well, they might.
I think I'm the only one in the room now who has no idea what BTS is.
It's a boy band. That's all you need to know. They're very famous.
Korean boy band.
Okay. Very popular, hugely popular.
And Coldplay recently did a cynical song with them for the UK market.
Okay, I'm just looking them up now. I'll let you know next week.
Good. So who is the hero? What is the hero?
Well, it ain't Joffy, is it? Because nobody likes him.
Rodrigo gets most nominations along with little scum bastard Dan James.
I would give it to Dan James for the redemption story. I feel like this
missing the chance to get a winner.
I feel like it was a big step in the right direction for him on the path to affection.
Yeah, I think
further down that road.
I think he's already getting affection.
Well, exactly. But this is kind of the moment to recognise where he's been, how far he's come, and this is kind of the staging post on the way where you can look back at him and say, "Wow, aren't you doing well,
you little scum bastard?"
You little scum bastard.
When does he shed that?
Never.
Okay.
No, he's got to keep it. He's got to wear that as a badge of honour and laugh about it.
I think he'd be fine with it.
And if he bumps into your mate, he'll buy him 2 curries. That's a promise from us. That does wrap up the show for this week. Then we'll be back next week with the weekly show, and 4 points better off, won't we? When we beat one of Spurs.
Well, you'll have the Liverpool match ball first as well. Don't forget that's will be coming particularly.
Yeah, Liverpool match ball, Spurs match ball as well.
The live version for the TSB Plus members, they get to see it in real time.
And because it's half term, I will be bringing my kids here for the evening because my wife has kicked us all out of the house. So you can go with your dad to work. So
I'm not staying with them. They can go outside the studio.
We'll get them cooking for us out there.
Get them on here. One there, one here.
More intelligent than you two, anyway.
Exactly.
Right, we'll wrap it up there then. Thank you for watching and listening. We'll speak to you soon.
The Square Ball Podcast.